Turning £1,000 into £2,000 within 7 days is no easy feat. And as we've seen from this episode, it actually does prove to be a lot harder than you think it'll be. Welcome back to Double the Money, one of my favourite shows at the moment. I'm enjoying every single episode and I hope you guys are as well. I hope you guys are enjoying my content on this, and we've got a jam-packed episode to talk about today. Lots of different business ventures, some that went really, really well, some that absolutely tanked, and some that unfortunately just didn't work out in the way that they hoped it would. But before we get into that, I want to say thank you guys very, very much for watching, and make sure you're subscribing if you haven't already. This show is absolutely fantastic, and if you guys aren't watching, then you are missing out. But if you're not watching and you're still watching my videos, big love to you. I do appreciate that. It does make my week. But also, make sure you're subscribing. We are on our way to 900 and we got to get there at some point. I want to get to 1,000. Please, guys. Please. Please, I'm begging you. I'm down on my knees. Please. So yeah, let's get into the video. So, as usual, we are going to start with first place. First place this week was Kath and Lynn. Now, Kath and Lynn, as you know, have come second, and now they're first. They are genuinely the ones to beat. I did not think that they would do as well as they did with this challenge, purely because they had 7 days to turn 1,000 into 2,000, and they decided to venture on a sangria business. Sangria business, didn't go so well for them at the start. They went to like a festival, I can't remember if it was a steam festival or something. Maybe it was a flower show or something. They tried selling their sangria. Didn't really work out. They didn't make a lot of money. So what they decided to do instead was drive and deliver sangria to people's doorsteps. Yeah, fair and do you know what? Absolutely fair and valid. I think it was actually impressive that they managed to make £3,666 from £1,000. That is crazy. And obviously, the thing with this show is every penny that you make, you get to keep at the end. So the longer you're on the show, the more money you'll make. Yes, the more effort you have to put in, but the more money you make at the end of the day. So the fact that they've made 3,666, which if they had an initial of 1,000, they've made a profit of 2,666. Wow, the math is not mathing today. But that is still very, very impressive. They were selling their sangria for £5 a cup, which seems steep, but they were like Costa level cups. So I wasn't too upset about that. They were quite generous portions, and obviously it's got alcohol in it, so a premium is added to it because of that. But still, wow. The fact that they managed to make that much money off of sangria going door to door, craziness. Honestly, crazy. Up next, we had Natalie and Jack. Now, Natalie and Jack are another team that have done consistently well throughout the competition. They did not think they were going to be doing very well in this episode. They really struggled because their business was very weather dependent. I still struggle to fathom how people are still doing weather dependent businesses, because every single time there's been a weather dependent business, they've faced severe difficulties. I mean, the first week, one person got knocked out literally because of the weather being abysmal. It seems very not wise is the word I would use. But either way, it is what it is. They actually did do fantastically because obviously they're second place. They were charging £95 for a boat and bike tour. Did I think it was worth £95 from what I saw? Probably not. But they did manage to make £2,814. Do not ask me how. I don't know. Because I was struggling to work out, okay, well, if they're paying this amount for this and this amount for that, then how are they managing that much? It was just very confusing. I don't know how many people they had, to be fair, or how many tours they did, because we only got to see one of them. So I feel like one of the aspects of this show that really confuses me is how the money adds up at the end. It doesn't quite make sense in my mind, but it is what it is. There's not really much you can do about it. But either way, they did do fantastically. They are also ones to watch. You can see the same names cropping up at the top week on week on week, and it is very, very telling because they're doing fabulously. Up next, we have Shay and Samina. Now, Shay and Samina managed to make £2,651 off of oil diffusers. This was an interesting one for me because these were the only people that actually made a product this week. The sangria from Kath and Lynn was already pre-made, whereas everyone else hosted events or did like activities or things like that. They were the only ones that actually sold products, which I found very interesting. So yeah, I was actually interested to see how they'd get on with this. They made the money pretty easily. The smells apparently in the oil diffusers were really nice. So you can't fault them for wanting to do something like this. It's easy money. You go to like a farmer's market, people are gonna be interested. They smell it, they go, oh, that smells wonderful. Bang, 30 quid. Wonderful. So it is pretty easy like that. But yeah, they did do well. Nissi and Ben had a little bit of a turbulent week. Not because of anything going wrong with the actual like proposition or the business that they were making, but like just because Ben had to go to America for work. He just dipped halfway through the week. So Nissi was kind of just left on her own. I was like, rah, okay, cool. But they were doing marriage counselling seminars or things like that, basically talking about their marriage, how they can help other people. They were charging 30 quid a pop. They managed to make £2,601, which I'm not being funny. I think they actually technically only made 1,601 because I don't think they would have spent the 1,000. Because it was a fairly, like, all they needed to do was load up Skype and get people interested. It wouldn't have cost them anything to set this up, in my head. Maybe I'm wrong. But they did a good job. They are consistently making the money. They're making more than double as well, which is good. So it's not like we've had any close calls so far with these two. I think these two are definitely on the road to success, and they're definitely going to last a long way in this competition. Yeah, I'm really happy with them so far. And I'm excited to see what happens in the future. They've had some good ideas so far, so I'm excited to see what else they plan on doing. So up next we have Seema and Radhika doing a erotic art exhibition experience day thing. Charging £75 a head I thought was quite steep, but there seems to be a real demand for it and a real interest in it, and they absolutely knocked it out of the park. I gotta say, these two are coming up with ways of integrating their what's the word I'm looking for? Their culture into these business opportunities, and they're actually making a good amount of money. They managed to make £2,586, which is wild. £75 a head. It was crazy. Honestly, I didn't think it would do very well. I really thought it would bomb, but they absolutely smashed it. I gotta have more faith in some of these people because they are absolutely incredible and they're really, really proving it to me. Up next, we had Marissa and Gabrielle. I mean, as usual, I've not got much to say about them. I didn't know what they were doing until like the last minute when they like showed a little clip of them before they went back into the not the crypt, what's it called? The vault. That's it. That's what it's called. Yeah, they did a ladies' day. They charged £30 per person. It just looked a bit naff, I'll be 100% honest. But they did manage to make £2,434. I'm guessing from like charging for drinks and food and stuff like that. It was an interesting proposition, and like they made the money, so like I can't say it was rubbish. But yeah, I was just a little bit disappointed with them, if I'm being honest. It was a little bit lackluster. It was a little bit boring. Be more inventive. Come on, girls. Like we've seen you do exercise in the park. We've seen you do online fitness videos, and now we've seen you do Ladies' Day. Get out and graft, please. So, Jeff and Jamie decided to do Hook a Duck. Okay. They made the money. I want to know the figures, and I want to know how they made the money, because they were charging £5 per go for hook a duck. But what were they offering for hooking the duck? Because usually when you go hook a duck, if you hook a duck, you win a prize or something like that. But for £5, £5 is steep. £5 really steep. And in order to double their money, they obviously would have had to spend money to get the ducks, to get the hooks, to get the equipment, to get the space in order to host it. £5 per go. Yeah, not filling me with a lot of confidence when it comes to what is actually going to make them money. I feel like this was an idea that could have gone drastically, horrendously wrong. But also, I do appreciate the fact that these two take risks. They decide to do crazy harebrained schemes, and they're just here for fun. Do you know what I mean? It's not like they're actually looking to like win the competition. They're just here to enjoy each other's company and have some fun along the way. If they make it to the end and they make the money, absolutely fantastic. If they don't, I feel like it's not the end of the world, as I saw last week. But yeah, hook a duck probably wouldn't have been my idea of something that I would have done, but is what it is. We gotta move on. So the last couple, or I say couple, the last duo to make the money was Dale and Harvey. Dale and Harvey decided to do a talent show. This talent show could have gone horrifically wrong. Horrifically wrong. Because they were struggling to find talented people. That was the first issue. The second issue was they were struggling to get people to sell tickets, so they kind of had to rely on the acts themselves to sell the tickets, which I thought was actually a kind of genius plan, because it made sure that there were definitely bums on seats. But thirdly, they lost the card reader for like a while, and there was a lot of like tensions were flaring between the two of them over this card reader. So they were just letting people in for free and collecting payment later. But then obviously it just became a lot harder to work out who's paid, who hasn't paid. So it just became a bit of a nightmare. And I actually thought this could be their downfall, this whole missing card reader debacle. But fortunately, they did manage to pull it out of the bag. They did manage to make £2,202. So it wasn't even like there was like a fiver in it. They actually did make quite a considerable amount of money. They were charging £15 per person for the actual tickets. So I feel like they made a decent amount of money and they did well. So I can't fault them too much on that. So yeah, I'll give them props on that. Very, very well done there. Okay, we're sadly into the two pairs that will be leaving us in this episode, and I'm kind of gutted about both of them. These two pairs were bringing me joy, bringing me happiness, and unfortunately they did not double their money in this episode. First up, we have Shana and Talia. They had a really tough week. Talia was really struggling with herself, her mental health, and sort of making sure she was up to doing the event that they planned on the Saturday. They decided to do like a, I think it was like a, almost like a, how do I word this? I don't remember how they worded it, but like a plus size event for people talking about their experiences, things like that, maybe like a fashion show, things like that. It was an interesting concept, and I think the idea to upsell food and drink and all of that was also very, very ingenious. The issue was that obviously Talia just went missing for half of the week, and Shana kind of had to do most of it on her own. She wasn't even sure if Talia would turn up to the event. Unfortunately, she did, and she did pull it out of the bag, and I'm very, very happy for her for that. But I think that the lack of commitment this week really shook them. And I have big love for both of them. They are wonderful, wonderful people. But unfortunately, they did not manage to make the money. They only made £1,703. They were £297 short, which is a real, real shame. I thought the event looked absolutely fantastic. I thought they did an absolute great job with it. It just, I don't think there were enough bums on seats, sadly. But it is what it is. There's not really much you can do beyond that. So alas, they have to leave the competition. Our final couple, And this breaks my heart to say after they scraped through last week. But Claire and Faye decided to do Pride makeup and hairstyling at the Pride Festival in wherever they're from. It just didn't go well for them. They just didn't have a lot of customers. They were charging £5 for makeup, £10 for hair braiding, and I just think that was a little bit problematic. I don't think that the prices wouldn't have made me want to buy it personally. And also, braiding someone's hair takes a lot of time. So if you've got multiple people wanting their hair braided, they're going to be waiting a while. Yeah, not great, not ideal. They did only manage to make £1,672, which put them firmly in last place and sadly out of the competition. But as Sue likes to say, every single penny you make in this competition, you get to keep. So I think they've made a profit of like 2,000 something odd, 2,600 something. So that's really impressive, I think. I think that's big props to them. Massive, massive props. Well done. So yeah, I'm impressed. I'm proud. I'm definitely going to like say well done. I don't know what else to say because they're out of the competition now. But yeah, sad to see them go. But that does mean that there are now 8 couples remaining, 8 duos, 8 people competing for this title, and we've still got 5 episodes left. What's gonna happen, guys? I'm concerned. I'm really excited though. I think this is turning out to be a very, very interesting and fun show, and I am buzzing to see where this goes. They could do this every single year, and I would tune in. I think this is more entertaining than The Apprentice, personally, because I feel like it's less rigged, and whilst The Apprentice might be funnier because they're sometimes so thick and stupid and they come up with dumb ideas, this is good because you get to know the people on a personal level, you get to hear their stories, things like that, whereas The Apprentice really feels kind of impersonal, like I don't actually know any of them that well. So anyway, thank you guys very, very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and make sure to like, comment and subscribe, doing all those YouTube stuffs that you guys do so well. Thank you guys very, very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later. Keep on ranting and subscribe. Bye now.